What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Narik Chase channel. I'm your boy Narik Chase, and in this video we are doing episode 40 of the Streamline podcast. I wanted to make this one interesting because I've been really interested to see what's been going on with this entire Star Wars issue. Plus there's been a lot of news in it, and I want to get in with some of my comments. For those who haven't heard, the Solo Star Wars story movie dropped a few weeks ago, and it's been a bomb. Now, as far as why, I couldn't personally tell you, because I have yet to go see the movie, and I'm really disappointed in myself in it. But I do know that one of the problems that was in the movie, which was kind of an issue in The Last Jedi, is kind of like I think one of the issues is kind of the whole thing where they're doing the where they're doing this whole social justice warrior stuff. Like, not every freaking movie we watch when it comes to movie, not every one of these movies we want to see these life lessons. And unfortunately, in like The Last Jedi, it was so pronounced that it literally was like too blunt, too blatant, and they really should have dialed back on that. Also, I think it has something to do with the timing too, because a few weeks before then, you had Avengers: Infinity War, and then of course Deadpool 2 dropped, which I have yet to go see that. But I think that's probably it too as well. And plus, they're doing this like the whole cinematic universe with Marvel, where every year it's like 2 movies come out to this whole cinematic universe where, and honestly, I don't have an issue with that, because Star Wars has such an expansive universe, so many stories, locations, and characters, that I feel like every year they could potentially come out with something different, but make it fit into the overall narrative of the franchise. And I have heard some things here and there that it's I guess you could say it's somewhat a fatigue, because I watched some videos on it, and there are some fans that are like, okay, Star Wars is one of those series that meant to come out every blue moon to help keep it fresh, give us some time to let this new idea of movies settle first, then come out with a new one after a while, which is why honestly the prequels were so successful despite all the negative backlash they have, as well as the reboots. Each one was like 20 years, or like not 20, like they felt like 20 years apart, but I don't know. But anyways, I think people do feel like they're somewhat fatigued. Me personally, I don't mind it. I think it's actually pretty good, but I think it also has something to do with where the direction of the series is going now that this is taking over. And I said there are a lot of like undertones that they're trying to push into all these movies, and I think at this point it has been scientifically proven time and time again, when you have a movie or a franchise where you're sitting here constantly trying to push this stupid narrative, and it's very blatant, it ruins it. It ruins it for television shows, ruins it for games, it ruins it for books, it ruins it for almost anything, where if you have a message and it's not actually a part of the story, rather than just be all in your face, it does become an issue. And again, I said it, I definitely saw that with the new with The Last Jedi, and like one of the narratives is being now that like the female characters are like more badass than the dudes, to the point of like it's over the top. It's like, no, you can have good male characters and have good female characters that are both equally badass. There's no need to try to do this whole dominant, women kicks ass all the time thing, which we unfortunately start to see in some of these movies, to the point that it's very unrealistic. Kind of like when I'm watching Marvel. And I love Scarlett Johansson. I think she's a great actress. I like Black Widow in the MCU, but there are times where her character is in a situation where she probably, or a combat situation to be more specific, where she's fighting a superpower being which she should not be, like, she shouldn't live, but she does. And it's like one of those that's too unrealistic. I mean, yes, I understand we're fighting aliens and monsters and superpowered gods and stuff like that, but you have established that there is some level of realism to this, and she probably should not be fighting this superpowered being like that. So that's another thing that a lot of people have been just not liking. Next to the fact that they are taking the Star Wars movies in a different direction, as well as killing off some of the main cast. And like I did say, and I agree with everyone on this, Luke Skywalker got shitted on The Last Jedi. No freaking reason for that. Like, who, that right there was just pure stubbornness. Whoever thought that was a great idea. But I'm still interested in seeing the movie because and I'm not one of those, like, there are a certain amount of people that like the character so much they want their history to not be revealed because it's such a mysterious character. Han Solo was one of those characters. Palpatine was one of those characters. Darth Vader was one of those characters. Boba Fett is one of the characters. Darth Maul is one of these characters that people like them from the time that they start on the film to the time they stop, but they don't want to know anything what happened to that character before. And one of the issues that people didn't like about the prequels is, even though it did reveal the origin story of Anakin Skywalker, it revealed the origin story of Anakin Skywalker. So I do not mind seeing a Han Solo origin story because I would like to know where this character came from, how he got into the smuggling business, what are other things that are going on behind the scenes when it comes to like the Empire, as well as like Jabba the Hutt and all these shady deals that are being done in the dark. Like, I would not mind seeing that. So having said that, I am still going to go see the Star Wars Solo movie, and I hope that, you know, even though I hear it has its bits of issues here and there, I do try to stay fan away from the actual reviews, so I don't want to spoil any, have any spoilers revealed to me. So do you know, stay tuned to watch those reviews. Also, the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie is, from what I've read, let me pull it up right here. I think the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie is supposed to be set to start filming next year, towards the end of the year, and hopefully we can get on that, because like Obi-Wan's another one of those not obscure, but one of those characters like you do want to. I want to know more about this character's origin. What did he do during that time period from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope? Like, I want to see that. Regardless if it's even just that, if it just goes to the Clone Wars or before the events of the Phantom Menace, you know. So, and Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of those like badass characters that definitely needs his own movie. Darth Vader is one, Boba Fett is one, Obi-Wan Kenobi is definitely a character as well. And I would like to see a Qui-Gon Jinn movie as well. But as from what I've read, it is set to shoot next year, late next year. So hopefully we can get some more information on that. And hopefully they can recast Ewan McGregor, because if there was one thing that was in the prequels that was just perfect, was him being cast as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was fantastic, perfect cast for the character, and I would definitely love to see him return. If he doesn't return, I would rather it be under the circumstances of he didn't want to play the role, rather than them not trying to cast him at all. And I think there would be a public outcry if they cannot get him back on as Obi-Wan Kenobi. After all, as I said, he pretty much was like the absolute best thing going on as far as the Star Wars prequels. So having said that, going back to what I was saying about Darth Vader and Boba Fett movie, the Boba Fett movie has been announced as well, and he's definitely a character that I want to see, even though he was in the last two trilogies. You really didn't get too much. He really didn't do much. I mean, the biggest thing that this character did was he captured Han Solo, then he got eaten. He got eaten by this giant worm thing that was in the ground, which was pretty stupid in my opinion. I think his character would have been more badass had he died like with some kind of firefight between him and Han Solo and Princess Leia at the end of at the climax of the movie, instead of them fighting some fucking bears and fighting with bears and stormtroopers. But hopefully this Boba Fett movie is be jumping it. Also, along with this Kenobi movie and a Boba Fett movie, how will Darth Vader, because Darth Vader is such a great character, especially what happened, we've seen him in Rogue One as well as him, I believe he is in the Solo movie. Like, how is his presence going to be in both of those movies as well? And will that eventually lead off to him having his own movie? Because Darth Vader, it's about time he had his own movie. There have been several books written exclusively about that character, and pretty much the best story I could throw out for a Darth Vader film, honestly, would be him during the Jedi purging Jedi. So there's no reason, honestly, that they should not guarantee us a Darth Vader movie if you got an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie and a Boba Fett movie guaranteed. We're not guaranteed, but in the works. So there is that. Also, there is supposed to be a new Star Wars series, animated series coming out. And it's supposed to be Star Wars Resistance. Now, I have watched some of the Clone Wars. I've seen bits and pieces of Rebels, which I need to go back and watch all of them. Sit down and watch them all. The Clone Wars, of course, takes place during the events of Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith. Rebels is supposed to be what happens between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, I believe. And then I think, and also this new one, The Resistance, will be set just before the events of The Force Awakens, and will follow a pilot named Kazuda Xiono, who is recruited into the Resistance movement. The show is created by Dave Filoni, who is also behind Lucasfilm's other two animated shows, The Clone Wars and Rebels. And he notes that Resistance was inspired by my interest in World War II aircraft fighter pilots. He says they looked at the show, were inspired by anime. Now, I'm interested in actually seeing this, but again, I'm a dumbass who hasn't seen the first two actual animated series. So I think it'd be pretty cool that they're continuing on how successful the animated series is, and maybe it can provide us a lot of answers that were not initially addressed in The Force Awakens, about rise of the First Order, Snook, what Princess Leia has been up to, Luke Skywalker, also a bit more backstory when it comes to possibly Rey and possibly Kylo Ren. But I think it's mostly going to be more focused on the Resistance and the First Order battles, and hopefully we do get some cameos for some really prominent characters outside of Princess Leia. And what was that chick with the funny hair color in Last Jedi? Like, I want to see a little bit more about what's going on with her. And hopefully in this also we get some Princess Leia using some Force abilities, because I did like what she did in The Last Jedi. But I'm glad to see that they are continuing on with the animated series, because they are pretty awesome. And also, yes, it's supposed to be a live action television series too. That's right, and I cannot wait to see that. Jon Favreau, I believe, is supposed to be. It's supposed to be one of the writers behind the series, and he wrote. He was in Iron Man. He was whatever the big dude name was, and he wrote, I believe, the Jungle Book too. So I really liked it, and I really like the Jungle Book as well. So I'm interested to see what they're going to go with this live action series. Is it going to be canon? If it's non-canon, what story are they going to go with? Is it going to be something probably in the movies? Is it going to be adaptation of one of the novels? Like, I'm actually ready to see some more information on what they got going on with this live action television series. And Disney's, it's supposed to be aired on Disney's streaming service, and if they have enough good content, I will check it out. I might get it if it's affordable. But so far I don't. Let's see. Wait to Spanish, Spanish, stream service next thing. I don't really see any mention on what the series is going to be about, but hopefully it'll be awesome. We got Game of Thrones. There's no reason we had Battlestar Galactica, Andromeda. You know what I'm saying? All these great television series. No reason we should not have no Star Wars. And I want to see some really good action sequences. A lot of them. But I do like to have a lot of great dialogue and characterization as well. So there are the 2 series that are coming out. Also, even though this is the old news, Colin Trevorrow was fired a while back for being a director of Episode 9, replaced with J.J. Abrams. I don't really, off the top of my head, know much about Colin Trevorrow, and I'm gonna go look him up right now while we're talking about this. I probably do know some stuff that he has done. Now, me personally, I do like J.J. Abrams. I think a lot of his works that he's been doing has been really good. So I'm gonna. And I did like the direction that they did take in with The Force Awakens. I thought he brought it back. He breathed new life into the series, and I was kind of on the fence about him not being able to do this episode 8. Okay, Trevorrow. Most of his movies I have not seen, but I did watch Jurassic World, and to some extent, the movie to me it was entertaining and it was a good movie, but it was still it had its issues. Especially with the Jurassic Park formula that they all tend to have, as well as a lot of convenience in the script and predictability. But I really can't really vouch for him because, like I said, that's the only movie I've seen that he's directed and written. So. But as far as J.J. Abrams is concerned, I really do like him as a director. So hopefully some of the, I guess you could say, the mistakes that were in Episode 8 can be addressed or and either fleshed out or given us some actual, what's that freaking word? Closure, I guess you could say. But regarding J.J. Abrams, a lot of them I've seen, he wrote Armageddon, he wrote Joyride. I liked Mission Impossible 3. He directed the Star Trek reboot, Super 8, as well as directed Star Trek Into Darkness, which I like, The Force Awakens. He's had his hand in some pretty good movies as well, including 10 Cloverfield Lane, Cloverfield actually, as well as some of the other Mission Impossible movies, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation. So he's had his hand in some pretty good movies that I've come to like and appreciate. He even did an episode of The Office. Wow, I hate The Office. But anyways, so as far as I'm concerned, they put J.J. Abrams back on the spot, and I like the guy, so hopefully he can go ahead and continue taking this series into a new direction. Also, the creators of Game of Thrones are supposed to be working on some Star Wars film projects, and I'm very interested to see what those will be. I've heard they are going to be violent, much like the series, which I'm okay with because in every Star Wars movie, people die. It's all about basically the entire series is about one faction against another faction, and there's one family bloodline that's stuck in the middle. So I'm actually interested to see where they're going to go with this too. But it also begs the question: the bombing, the failure of the Solo movie. What does that mean for the series over the franchise overall? I don't think it's a bad thing for the franchise. I mean, it's bad that it bombed, but I don't think it's going to do much harm to the franchise because Star Wars is just such a significant science fiction franchise out there, and probably, and I said probably, it is one of the most significant ones. So, if this movie bombed, okay, yes. Now, if like 4 or 5, like three or four more movies bombed, okay, that's a different story. But as far as this, I don't think it's going to do much to deter the path that Disney has set for the Star Wars franchise. And the woman that's over Disney and Star Wars at this point, Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know much about this woman. To me, she seems like one of those feminist women that honestly just feel like you have to cram down feminism and all of and liberalism and all this stupid stuff down people's throats instead of just putting in 1 or 2 parts here and then let everybody ride out and enjoy the movie. And there's been some things that I've read and seen where she's doubled down on the decision for this movie, but the backlash is making her kind of reconsider. And all I can say is, let this movie, whoever's directing this movie, let J.J. Abrams direct this movie, and you stay your hand out of it. Go sit up in your cushy, big ass house-sized office, and let the people that know what they're doing handle this. Now, I don't know if this woman has any experience in making movies or anything, but if it's any consolation what's been happening with the backlash to the other few movies, I'd tell her to shut up and go sit down and let the professionals do their job. And I guess I can't really say too much because she's the owner of a multi-billion dollar, the head of a multi-billion dollar corporation, so hey, what I know. But anyways, and lastly, with the new movies that are supposed to be coming out, are we actually going to get a Knights of the Old Republic? Now, I haven't played the video games. I need to get on the video games and or read the books. I do have a couple of the books, so I need to get on game and see what they got going on about the original Republic before the time, the era of the current Star Wars storyline. So I'm interested in seeing that as well, and I'll probably try to do some casting calls because I like doing casting calls. I think they're awesome. But anyways, guys, that's all the information I have as far as the Star Wars news that's trending and are not trending, as well as some of my thoughts. In the comment section below, let me know your thoughts about what the topics that I just brought up, as well as if there's anything new that's trending. You need to go ahead and tell me down there, as well as hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on the Narik channel, as well as be sure to stay here for Tuesdays and Thursdays to get more videos. And I'll catch you guys later. Appreciate y'all watching. Peace out.